There's a lot to evaluate from tonight's game. First of all, I'm very proud of the players' maturity tonight. Denmark comes out and surprised us. 4-for-2, high press, did not shy away from the occasion. We knew that Harder was going to be hard to deal with in the space between the midfield and the back line. I think we struggled first 50 minutes. But in tournament football, I've said it before, you need to play the game right in front of you and find ways to win. And the maturity of the players showed tonight, I'm very, very proud of. I think we find our way into it in the middle of the first half when we did some tactical adjustments. And then a collective effort to keep a clean sheet together with some individual brilliance on the break, like a Caitlin Ford tonight, for example, was enough to get away with the win tonight.
First question, over here, please. Remember to introduce yourself.
Tony, Vince Rigari, Sydney Morning Herald, congratulations.
Thank you.
With the first half adjustment that you just spoke about, how useful was it, well, not useful, that Steph went down with a suspected injury? She said she was all right downstairs, but did you use that moment to change things? You brought everyone together, and after that, you guys looked pretty settled.
Yeah, football is one of the team sports that is very difficult to get tactical adjustment during the game because there's no timeout. It's far away for the players to hear when it's 75,000 in the stands. But again, we've done a lot of scenario trainings, especially in the pre-camp, when we looked at different game scenarios, and then we've trained a lot of communication. Different signs, different words, different trigger things, and it wasn't just me talking in that huddle. The players talked as much as I did to get on the same page, because in a moment like that, when you can hardly hear each other on the park, it's very important that the players see the same picture. So just to get 30 seconds or 20 seconds, just to get some keywords, key messages out, and then get everyone on the same page can help tremendously, and tonight that break helped us a lot.
Tony, George Clark, Australian Associated Press. You talked about Caitlin's goal, but without Mary's pass, that goal doesn't happen. We've seen flashes of her brilliance before. Did you feel like maybe tonight was a coming-of-age performance, like she was in everything, she was turning the ball over, making the right pass every time?
Yeah, but I'm still going to be honest. I think we didn't activate Mary as much as we could have, especially in the first half. She's extremely good to link up play and then play players in. I don't think we used, especially after we won the ball. If you remember, sorry to talk a lot of tactics now, but we had a period in the first half against Canada when we turned the ball over in our own half a lot, and they got momentum wave after wave in the middle of the first half. And then we fixed some things to make sure we solved initial pressure and linked with Mary more. And that was also the key to get into this game, that when you end up in a little deeper block, when you're forced to, you know we want to press, but sometimes the team forces you, and Denmark was good enough to force us to a lower block today. Then you need to get out and solve that initial pressure. And when we do that by activating Mary as a linking player, we're brutally dangerous on the break, and she's a key to that. And the way she waits passes in the diagonal to get plays in, whether it's slipping through the back line or outside the back line, is world class.
Next question.
Hi, James Robson, the AP. Could you assess this achievement when you consider what you and your squad have been through in this tournament already, with Sam Kerr's injury, losing, the pressure going into the Canada game? You know, you're now just a couple of games away from the final.
I think I'll leave that one for you to analyze and put it in perspective. What I know about this group, though, is that the investment we've done over the last 2.5 years to grow and develop, and you know my mantra, I always talk about get one day better and not just one day older, and invest every single day, whether it's technical, tactical, physical, or mental development, to get one day better. And all that investment that we've done, I think, helped tremendously in all the challenges that have been thrown at this team from match day -1 when the tournament started against Ireland, and everything that they've gone through and the way they've handled it. Stay true to who they are, stay connected. I don't know if you guys pay attention to it, but for me, body language is important. And when you see this team play out there and how they play for each other, and you see how united they are and the togetherness and how connected they are, that for me says a lot about how the team's well-being is. And I think that have helped through some tough challenges in this tournament. And I think that shows some maturity in the team as well in terms of how to play tournament football.
Martin Gabor, NCA Newswire. Hi, Tony. Congratulations. Was it always the plan for Sam Kerr to return tonight? And at 2-0, was there any temptation maybe not to bring her on, or is it more important to get those minutes under the belt?
No, I'm going to be honest. I could sit here and say it was easy, but it wasn't. Those decisions are big. It takes a lot of talks, a lot of communications, a lot of forth and back together with my experts around me and my support team. And I need to take a moment here to put in perspective, when you said we've had some challenges with this team for players and myself to go through, what the sports science and sports medicine team have gone through in this tournament is just unreal. To get Alana back to where she is, considering the last 6 months, it's Alana and the SSM team is to thank for that. Evie and Mary, the same thing. Look at the lack of minutes they've had and the injury history coming into this tournament, which is normally something, if you look at teams that are successful in tournaments, is teams that have players in form and play consistently. And we didn't have that coming in. And it's thanks to my sports science and sports medicine team. They've been freaking world class. And then you look at the challenge, they've dealt with concussions, they dealt with Sam. And the one thing that they have, which is unique, is the communication skill, not just the expertise. But in order to be successful, you need to work very closely between technical team and medical team. A lot of meetings. So last night we had a long meeting. Today we had a lot of meetings, a lot of talks with Sam. And then when do we use her, if we use her? Maybe she needs some minutes to mentally and physically get ready for the next game, but that means a risk as well. How much are we willing to risk and all? So I'm going to be honest, I'm open up here and saying it's tough decisions. Today I hope I get it right, even though I was a bit nervous when she slipped. So I hope she's okay.
Next question here.
Hi, Tony. Rory Smith from the New York Times. I was going to ask, could you walk us through the kind of 30 seconds when Sam slipped, and can you do it without swearing?
I know I can tend to swear too much at times when I get passionate, but today I'll try to stay away from that. I got very nervous. I didn't see the slip until she was on the floor, but when I saw that, obviously you get, oh. Then straight away communicated with how you doing. You need to come off. You're good. She wanted to stay on. So hopefully that means she's okay. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions here. I want to respect the process. We check in on her and see how she feels, and get my experts around me once again, and have a meeting tomorrow and do a review.
Next
Hi.
over here.
Gabby Moreira from Brazil TV Global. It looks like you built a team without some care. Am I right? And do you have already an idea to fix her into this team that seems to play so well?
Yeah, I think what have been good and important for this team is, I think it started at some games when we played without Sam. Give an example, when we played 30 minutes against France without Sam in the send-off game, and it was 0-0 at the time, and we managed to win with 1-0 with Sam not on the park. I think that helped the team. I also think it helps Sam, because what I think is important, if a team should be successful, you can't only rely on one player. And I do not say this out of disrespect for Sam, because you guys know how much I love working with Sam and how much I say she's the best forward in the world. But I think Sam coming back now could be a good thing in the sense that we don't need to look at her taking over and having everything on her shoulder. It's a team effort and a team tournament, and it's, I don't know if you say that in English, but can you say the cream on the cake? Is that a saying? Yeah? So cherry on the cake, ice on the cake, like it's that extra that comes in. So in that sense, I think it's a bonus for us. But it also means the players are challenging me now in the decision making, who should play, because I got more than 11 players that deserves to start. So good on them.
Yeah. Next question back there, please.
Tony, Jamie Pandaran from News Corp Australia. In terms of the potential of this team, how far they can improve and what you've got coming ahead, where are you? Are you happy with the level now, or is there a rise to come?
Yeah, I always talk about getting one day better. We're going to analyze this game for sure, like we always do after a win or a loss. I think one thing we definitely need to get better at moving forward is our positioning in our defending shape, and also reading the pressure trigger better. We didn't generate as much press today like we normally do, and we need to look into that. We did fix it during the game, and it got much, much better, especially in the second half. But in terms of a 90-minute performance in a quarterfinal, no matter who we play, we need to look into that and get back to where we were in our defending against the France and in England and in Sweden and so forth, and Canada, that type of defending. attitude with a little bit more aggressive pressing mindset, but it starts with good positioning. That we need to improve, I think. But then again, I'm stressing that tournament football is about playing the game in front of you, whatever that looks like, and find a way. And this team have proven now that they can always find a way. And we know we score goals. I don't know, have we scored, how many goals is it now in the tournament? Is it 9? I can't do the math here. How many? Yeah, we scored a lot at least. And if you look at the last, 12 or 14 games that we played with a lot of wins, we score a lot of goals. So as long as we can be solid defensively, we know we have individual brilliance, we have set plays, we have goal scorers in this team, and we have multiple of them as well. Not just the Sam Kerr, we have multiple options to score goals.
2 final questions. The first one back there.
Hello, Tony. Manny Jasmine from BBC. In tournament football, life is accelerated by 1 or 2 speeds. So many things happen in such little time. You've only played 4 games, but do you think your team, your players have changed as people or as a team when you compare them with what they were like 2 weeks ago?
I think we all, as human beings, grow every single day. We learn and we change, hopefully improve, learn from experiences. The one thing that I think have happened with this team is they were very tight and together when the tournament started. But the tournament and the experience and the challenging and the adversity that they come through have made them even tighter. It's a unique group in that sense. There's a family sense, there's a tight circle and togetherness that is unique, and I think that have strengthened even more during the tournament.
Final question over here. At the back, please.
Thank you. Hi, Tony. Laura Spurway from Channel 7. So you've got your opponent playing tomorrow night, looking at France or Morocco. What do you do? Do you watch that game by yourself in a zone? Do you watch it with some of your staff around you? Do you watch it with the girls? What do you do in that scenario, and what do you have to say about either of the oppositions that you will face?
What time is the kickoff of that
I think
game?
it's a late one again, like an 8.
We'll probably have landed in Brisbane then. If it's around mealtime, normally we have the games up on big screen, and the ones that want to stay during the meals to watch some of it there do that. So most likely, if it's around dinner time, I'll sit with most of the staff and players that want to sit and watch some over a meal. Nothing formal, just the ones that want to sit watch it over the meal, and then probably head to my room and see the last part of the game by myself or together with my tech staff. But it also depends on where we are in the process with downloading our own game, because the number one thing right now is to focus on us and the improvement we do, and then I have a tremendous support by my scouts and my analyst team that do a lot of groundwork for me and present the opposition for us, first for us as tech staff and me, and then from there we create a presentation for the players. So I rely a lot on my scouts and my analysts that do a phenomenal job with that. But I also know I'm going to be curious to watch the game, so at least half an eye on the game for sure. And in terms of the oppositions, we know this tournament have shown that every team that is here to compete. So it's going to be a very interesting game.